Welcome to a brand new episode of Hair the Dogcast, sans Tom. We're here today. We've got a great lineup. Oh my God, I'm not a good host.
Dylan, you're doing great. Hey everyone, this is Hair the Dogcast.
Oh, fuck off.
This is Hair the Dogcast, as Dylan eloquently put it. I am one of your hosts, Brad, and this is not an Elden Ring support group, and I will try not to talk about it because it's not, but I am Brad.
Okay, I'm Dylan. I'm the other host. And
this was supposed to be Tyler's first time
as a Dogcast member,
as an official Dogcast co-host. He was going to be running the news. Tyler was in the hospital today.
Oh boy,
he will be fine. He is,
we all wish
I believe,
him well.
Doped up on medicine and on the couch playing Elden Ring as we speak.
Is he?
I think he got the rot. I think that's why he had to go.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But still talking about Elden Ring.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, what? What's Elden Ring?
But yes, the show is going on without Tyler today. Tyler, feel well, but we have a wonderful special guest here today.
Guest host David Jones.
David Jones, you've got a nice baritone, my friend.
I was a bass before.
Oh,
my
there you
tonsils
go.
taken out, and then it just went up, and I lost the range. But
oh shit,
I have not played Elden Ring yet. I've heard good things and bad.
Ooh.
So I will be the dissenting opinion today.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll talk a little bit about it.
Talk a little bit.
Not too much. We're not going to like drag you through our little journey. That's not
don't.
okay. Well, no, we won't. We're not going to be exclusive.
Hair the Dogcast is a proud member of the HyperX Podcast Network. For more information, check out podcast.hyperx.com. Very, very happy to be a part of that family. And on this podcast, we drink real live beer.
Oh shit. He better fucking listen to this. This is all I'm saying.
I'm sure he'll at least check this one out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yes, we do drink real live beer on this show. Our featured brewery, since someone from Tighthead sent me a bunch of delicious beers, so we're going to be drinking some Tighthead beer today. They're out of Mundelein. I think it might be Mundelein.
Yeah. No, Mundelein. Definitely my hometown.
That's your hometown?
Next to my hometown.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds like a lie.
I haven't had any of these before. It's a suburb of Chicago. They opened their doors in 2011. The first one we're going to have today is called Scarlet Fire. This is a red ale.
I love a red ale.
It's a 2018 gold medal winner at the Great American Beer Festival.
Oh.
And
thank you, sir.
Red ale and amber ales are quite similar, actually. They share a category at GABF. The major difference being caramel or crystal malts. Reds will have a more toned-down caramel flavor. Yeah, but this was a gold medal winner.
So it got good flavor.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward. Kind of not too caramely. Beer is inspired by the improvisational transition of the Grateful Dead's Scarlet Begonias into Fire on the Mountain.
What?
Scarlet
what does that
to
mean?
Fire. Well, when they would play 40-minute songs, they would have a 10-minute free jam between songs, and that's what this is inspired by.
Hey, I mean, listen, I love jam. I love jam bands of the era. The Dead is something I never could get into because it's just a little too. It's a little too jam bandy in the weirdest way because it's supposed to be kind of like jazz, but I prefer more synths.
Yeah,
and
there's not enough drugs in the world for me to become a Deadhead. I don't think.
No. But we all love Jethro Tull.
I couldn't even name a Jethro Tull song. Probably
couldn't either.
Yes, you can. Name one.
I'm telling you, I can't. You name one. Then I might.
Aqualung. The most famous one.
Hey there, Aqualung. Is that what it is?
It's just
Aqualung is a spell in Final Fantasy VII. You get it with the enemy skill materia, dude.
What do you think they named it after?
You're making this up.
Yeah, I'm making it up.
Yes. So before we move on,
I'll kill you with bubbles.
Little bubble wand. The Dogcast is changing. We mentioned Tom's not here. Josh will be on a little less frequently because we have cats, and Josh and cats do not get along at all.
And he also lives 47 minutes away in Watertown.
Mm-hmm.
A little more difficult for us.
We're going to make sure he's on as much as possible, though.
Of course.
This is the Dogcast. This is where we talk about news. We have we catch up on what we've been playing, and it's a little more relaxed topic, nothing too in depth. Then we have Raw Dogs on here, the Dogcast as well. Raw Dogs is where we don't talk about the news. We just kind of get real knee deep. We get knee deep into a topic. There's a nice edit. Unofficially, we are starting another mini series.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We're going to be doing.
You're announcing this?
We're going to announce it. We're going to be doing Elden Dogs.
Elden Dogs.
It's impossible for us not to talk about Elden Ring at all aspects of our life. So
it is hurting us not to be talking about it now.
So we are going to be doing every other Raw Dogs ish will be in Elden Dogs instead, and we are going to be getting very deep into the lore, the geography, everything. There's a lot there.
Level design, I'm most interested in. So,
and it's rare. I don't think there's many games where I've been that excited to discuss everything. So
and it's also right on the forefront. So if you haven't played it yet, start playing it. Maybe follow along with us.
Yeah,
looking at you, bud.
Yeah.
And also, I think we'll get possibly some new listeners. But yeah, that's here at the Dogcast. Thanks for joining us, and let's get into the news.
Perfect.
I don't know if I'll add sounds like beep 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 beep.
Clickety clack, clickety clack.
This just in.
It's me, Clark Kent, with a question.
You look like Superman. I tell you what, that guy looks a lot like Superman.
I've been told this before.
Take your glasses off. I don't do that in public.
I don't
sorry.
have glasses.
He like
S is for Smallville.
Isn't it just like the symbol for Krypton or something?
It's their family symbol.
Okay.
On Krypton, which just happens to look like an S in a big diamond.
Yep.
What are the odds?
Very coincidence.
What are the odds? I don't know. I probably got a lot of things wrong on the last comic book thing. Did we get a lot of...
We didn't get any, not like the last time where someone fact checked you like 30 times. We didn't get any of that.
Also, that fact checker sucks, and I'm calling you out personally.
I don't know if he listens anymore.
Yeah.
That was a couple years ago. If you're still listening, please fact check us always, because we will read it on the air and it's funny to me.
Whatever.
Just fact check Dylan.
Let's start at the top here. Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We're all on the same page.
Ukraine are the heroes.
Ukraine are the heroes. This is an absolute travesty. I
will have no problem saying that.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about video game companies and response to it. Yeah. Ukraine called for all video game development companies to put a temporary block on all Russian accounts. Mm-hmm. Many companies, including Ubisoft, Take-Two, Activision Blizzard, EA, CD Projekt Red, Epic, Microsoft, PlayStation, and Nintendo, have all halted sales of both physical and digital items.
Jesus criminy, yeah, wow.
And this is, of course, a very short list, and many others have joined in. It's great. This is a horrible situation, but I think anything that they can do to squeeze Russia a little bit better.
They're close to an economic collapse.
Yeah, well, when they have the markets, we're not opening them ever again.
Why would you though? Why would you ever even it's literally they made themselves poison. And I feel bad for a lot of the people of Russia.
Most of them are just regular people.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of them, I'm actually going to say that generally speaking, about 65% of Russians don't like Putin. So
it might be more too. It's hard with the propaganda machine. We don't know the real public sentiment.
Yeah, you can't have the proper polls, but I think the main idea here is that nobody wants this.
Nope.
And we're about to experience an economic collapse in Russia, and there's going to be a revolution soon. And I think a lot of these companies getting their shit out of there is entirely easy and intelligent.
I think it's interesting that companies like McDonald's, even them, they're we're pulling out. Yeah. But then Russia has now declared some copyright thing, anything that is copyrighted, if we're now in control of here in Russia. So they'll be able to.
But nobody's going to work. Nobody's going to make McDonald's for the people of Russia, quote unquote, the McDonald's. Even if they reopen a McDonald's, it's not going to be McDonald's, because literally if McDonald's is not shipping the shit they need in, they'll be making McGriddles still, but I'll tell you what, they're not actually McGriddles.
They'll be worse.
What are we talking about when we come to McDonald's?
I saw someone made the comment. So Facebook and Instagram are turned off, and now they don't have McDonald's. Russia is the healthiest country in the world.
Yeah, that's a fun and funny meme, but I think I can't discount the people who are actually really suffering there. Yeah. And a lot of gamers too. I don't think anyone really deserves when your government places this extreme kind of like, oh, we're all going to war now. Well, isn't this supposed to be a democracy? It's never been a democracy.
No, it's never.
But like they pretend to be. And then it's just like, well, I guess we all have to just fucking suffer for no reason.
Yeah. Speaking of suffering, Pokemon Go is no longer available for download in Russia.
Damn, they can't catch Bulbasaur?
Yeah, even Bulbasaur is like, I'm out of Russia.
Bulbasaur is anti-Russia.
Yeah.
Officially.
No word from Krabby. We don't know where his allegiance lies.
Bulba is truly sore.
Sad Cat Studios is a Belarusian.
Sad Cat Studios.
They're called Sad Cat Studios. They're a Belarusian studio. Belarus has been siding with Russia in this situation.
They're fucked too.
They released a statement in support of Ukraine. They said it's a bold move as their country has been one of the few siding with Russia. They said they are anti-war. And I think it's a cool thing that they stuck their necks out and they say, fuck this.
Isn't it wonderful though that we have the whole world being like, aren't we tired of these wars?
Yeah, we can at least all agree on something.
Well, it's just like we're tired of innocent people being killed and that the market now is actually responding to it rather than encouraging it. Because even like back during the second Iraq war, like when Bush invaded, everyone was kind of behind it. We all started calling French fries freedom fries because France wouldn't go to Iraq. And it's so funny to me now that everyone's just kind of like, we're fucking done. We're tired of this. Any form of this type of aggression is not okay. I can't be more behind all this shit than ever. And I don't think these companies are heroes. I think they made a calculated decision that's going to benefit them in the long run. Let's be clear. Even video game companies, I think that they're all eventually going to make profit off of this.
Yeah. It's all public relations related. And
yep.
You get to say we still with Ukraine. And I think I read somewhere that it costs money McDonald's not to be in Russia. It's like something like $50 million a month or something.
$60 million a month.
And
yeah, you're right. I read that as well.
And the potential bad publicity of them still not refusing to leave would have been more damaging. Oh, yes. I mean, it's all about dollar signs in the end. Although a lot of companies like Necrosoft Games and itch.io, they released a bundle for Ukraine with 100% proceeds going to charity.
Wonderful.
This bundle has a minimum donation of $10, and you will get nearly 1,000 products, including almost 600 digital games.
Jesus Christ.
300 analog tabletop RPGs.
Wow.
And other items like asset packs, books, soundtracks, etc. So they just literally, anyone that's willing to put their shit in is like, this is, we're trying to raise money to help.
Bless them. Honestly, no, that is what people are supposed to do. Unfortunately, I will also say that our governments should be responding a little more swiftly. I think that people helping people is fantastic, but the fact that we have a government that says we support them and then we're not actually there supporting them is kind of gross. So whatever, take that as you will.
Advance Wars 1 and 2 has been delayed due to the ongoing conflict.
I'm disappointed, but I also understand. I think it's kind of embittering.
Yeah, we need Kirby games, not war games at the moment.
Didn't they delay the initial Advance Wars because of September 11th, I think?
One last bit of things I wanted to mention about Ukraine. John Romero has released a new level for Doom 2.
Nice.
Okay.
100% of the revenue will go to benefit the people. Well, 100% of the revenue goes to help the people of Ukraine. That's kind of cool.
No, whatever. John Romero.
The dude made Doom. Him and Carmack. That's amazing.
Yeah, great. Do something else.
Well, I don't know. This is a little thing that he did that will help raise money.
He should be focusing on Empire of... What's it called? It's like a tactical RPG. It's Empire of Sin. That's one he released, right?
I don't know. But if you can make a really quick Doom 2 level and raise some money, I think that's a good thing.
I could make
Putin
Doom
the last
level.
boss.
What's that?
So is Putin the last boss?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mecha Putin, just like Mecha Hitler and Wolfenstein. Yeah.
Also, a Doom 2 level called One Humanity is kind of funny in itself.
Oh, man, it's like, all right, everyone get behind it, but also let's not be cheesy. I saw a few people. I've talked to a few people who don't agree, and I asked them a lot of like cogent questions, and they just couldn't respond.
I have one crazy old friend on Facebook that is actually
Thank you, sir.
pro-Russia, and I was like, "What
Wow.
the fuck happened to you, man? I haven't talked to you in 5 years, but you went way off the deep end."
The GOP, frankly, has become a Russian asset.
Yep.
Speaking of assets, our second beer we're drinking today. This is called Chili Water. It's a pale ale.
Ooh, chili water?
Not like with two L's and a Y. Not like ILI. It's chili. It's
Or
called
not the country?
no, not Chilean
Chile.
water either.
Okay.
But it's a pale ale. Chili Water is a widespread panic song, and I wanted to look into this. What is the difference between a pale ale and an IPA? I've worked in breweries for like 8 years. So back in the 17th century, beers were brewed with darker malts, resulting in darker beer. But people began dry roasting malt with coke, a type of processed coal, and the lighter malt made a lighter beer. These were called pale ales. And it's once they started adding a whole bunch of extra hops that they became IPAs. But that's like the birth of the pale ale. Still, I'm not satisfied with the description, but there's a little history for everybody. But yeah, this is the Chili Water.
I like this one quite a bit.
It's balanced. It's not going to be, too hoppy.
It is crushable, as
I was about to say crushable, as the kids say.
Yeah.
You're probably not a PlayStation guy, David, are you?
I am.
You are?
Yeah.
I thought you were mostly a PC gamer.
No, not anymore. But I grew up with GameCube, Xbox, PlayStation 3, PS4, Xbox 360.
Okay.
So I did, grow up with some of the consoles.
Yeah.
But that wasn't until later, until I was, probably 13, 14 almost. So I didn't have a big brother or anything to, have an N64 like all my friends did. But
Yeah, that's fine. I'm glad we never had a 64.
I had it.
I kind of wish we got like GoldenEye and, original Super Smash.
I don't think
There's some originals.
GoldenEye is a game. If you missed it, it's impossible to go back and play it.
It's so
impossible.
bad. It doesn't age well.
I know people who will still. I'll be like, okay, let's sit down and play this, and it will be like, I'll be like, you're gonna use the fucking C buttons?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? You're gonna pretend that's how you aim a gun? How? And they're just like, yeah, I guess this is still pretty fun. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm
done. Washing my hands.
I don't care. I'm done.
It goes back to even like Doom when you didn't have like a vertical axis, and you're just like, all right, wherever you're looking, we'll shoot up or down for you.
But that's fine too, though. Like
at least that's better than
yeah, absolutely.
Janky controls and
But PlayStation recently had a state of play where
I didn't watch it.
You didn't even watch it.
Nope.
Okay, I watched it.
Are they going to release nothing still?
yeah, right.
Well, they showed off a lot of trailers for games that are coming out soon. They announced a couple things. There's a game called Exoprimal where it rains dinosaurs. It looks like Overwatch or some shit.
Oh.
That hurts my feelings. What is that? Exoprimal?
It looks like a cooperative, competitive multiplayer game where it rains dinosaurs.
Oh.
And my brain turned off very fast.
Exoprimal.
Yeah. Personally, wasn't too excited on that one. Returnal Ascension. There's an update coming to Returnal, which I still haven't played, adding a new co-op mode and a new area.
That's a game I wish I could play.
You're waiting for your PlayStation 5, though.
I'm waiting for a PlayStation 5. I'm also waiting for the world not to suck.
Okay. One of those will be available much sooner.
Well, you would think so, but actually, Russia has a lot of the materials that make our chips. Whatever.
There's one game that was very exciting on there, Diofield Chronicles.
Oh, no.
Square Enix is going to get released later this year, and it's described as kind of a mix between Final Fantasy Tactics and Fire Emblem.
I don't hate that.
No, the art design looks amazing. Here, I'll just pull up the trailer. I'd like to get our thoughts on this one.
All right, I would like to see this.
We're doing a live watch of Diofield Chronicles.
Okay. Oh.
Huh.
I knew you'd get excited for this one, Dylan.
This is some Dylan bullshit. They got little character portraits.
Ooh, you can summon Ifrit.
Okay, I like that Dio is in the title because Ronnie James Dio rules. And
I don't know if it's related to him.
I
They
know.
just took his name.
I do like the name. But
The main character is Ronnie James Dio.
I've just got to say they've got to be a little more clever with their names.
What was the really silly one, like Untitled Project or
Triangle Strategy,
that one's not good. There was another one I'm thinking of too.
Octopath Traveler,
Yeah, there's just a lot.
where they literally give you the title and they're like, we'll change it, and then they're like, actually, we started as this, it might as well be that.
Yeah.
It's just it's silly, it's stupid. Why are you doing this to yourselves? I do want to play Triangle Strategy, but the moment I say that word out loud,
Triangle
Kills it.
Strategy.
Just kills it.
Yeah.
it just kind of really
Maybe
ruins the momentum.
maybe when you play the game, there's a really profound moment where someone's like, the Triangle Strategy. And I was like,
they said the title,
and
yay!
it all falls into place at
They
the
said
same
the
time.
title. It's in the words he
Oh,
said. It's like,
Avengers
man.
Assemble. He did it.
Dude, he fucking did it.
Best movie ever. And Dio Field Chronicle. It's got the music from Ramin Djawadi, who did all of the Game of Thrones songs. And he makes great music, even if that show went to shit.
Yep.
So excited about that. Valkyrie Elysium is coming out later this year. I've never played those games, but I know Kip said he's a big fan of that from the Discord.
He likes the Valkyrie games?
He says it's got a nostalgia itch for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Ghostwire Tokyo is releasing March 22nd, but here's a new trailer. Like, we're excited. I'm excited for the game enough, but
Yeah, I'd love to play it on my brand new PS5.
got to wait for Russia to stop the attacks, though.
do.
Ghostwire Tokyo, I'm excited for that game. The art design, I think, is at least unique, which a lot of games have that same garbage look these days.
Aren't you a cat in that game?
No.
I want to be a cat in the game.
Yeah, that's the one with like those crazy like big horned masks on it.
Right, yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Forspoken had a trailer that's getting pushed back to October 11th. I am very curious about Stranger of Paradise, the Final Fantasy Dark Souls-ish game.
Are you curious about it?
Curious, not in that I'm excited to play it. Curious is I'm excited to read reviews and watch people tear it apart.
Are you curious about it, which means that you are willing to actually play it?
I already played the first demo they released, and I beat the boss.
But will you try it in the physical form?
I won't buy it. If it's on Game Pass and I can play it for free, yeah,
I'll play it on Game Pass.
I'll give it a shake. But they also released a new demo. They're like, please play it.
That game is going to smolder in on itself. Square Enix, this is the reason I don't like this whole Dio Field thing, because that was a very inspiring trailer that I just saw. But Square Enix has been fucking up forever, and I can't remember a hit.
Oh, one of the like potential news articles, I don't even remember the name of it, but I saw an article that says Square Enix released another game that has just bombed completely.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it. Yeah, Square Enix doesn't have a great track record outside of a few very big blockbusters.
As we all know my feelings about the Final Fantasy VII remake, and I don't need to retread myself, but
you don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
You just think it's overrated.
I think it's overrated and fine.
Okay. I can agree with that.
I thought it was great.
It was my game of the year for that year, but
Well, yeah.
there's a Venn diagram of Brad and Dylan games.
Yes, there are. There truly are. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And Nier Automata and Elden Ring is at the heart of that.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah. Stranger of Paradise is coming out soon. New demo available. Gundam Evolution. I never been a Gundam guy.
Yeah.
I like Gundam, but this is like the chibi ones, right?
I don't know. My eyes rolled back in my head and they said Gundam. I said, oh, that's something I've never been familiar with.
That's fine. I don't need to know anything more about it. There are so many Gundam games.
Gigabash is a new monster fighting game coming out in 2022. That's fine if you're into that. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, originally released 2013 for the PS3. This is that same game, but like massively updated with new stuff. Again,
Interesting.
Explain JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to me, Dylan.
Explain.
Or like, what is it? Is that like an anime or is it like originally a game series? Do you know?
It's a manga that was adapted into an anime later. So it's a manga written by Araki. I can't remember his first
Balboa?
name. I'm sorry. No. Araki.
Maivia.
So it's a story essentially about this generational kind of progression of power where like you know how like shonen manga and stuff like that has like one character growing.
Yeah.
This one is all about like generational growth. So the first one's about a young lord whose father gets killed by his adoptive brother, who's also a vampire. Wow. And he learns to wield like a special like fighting power from a guy named Speedwagon.
This sounds like a bizarre adventure.
It's a very bizarre adventure. And then later on, it becomes all about they get like these spirits that fight alongside them. They're called stands. And they all have like special powers and abilities. And it's literally just, psychological battles between people.
They had a trailer for Trek to Yomi. Have you heard of this game?
No.
Okay. New indie game. And that was when the iPad died, but...
Climax.
I like the black and white. I don't know. The animation doesn't look bad to me, but it also might fall into the side scroller Assassin's Creed or Arkham spin-offs where it's
that you have to prove yourself to me if you want something like that from me.
What was that game that just came out? Sifu.
Sifu. I
Karate,
love to try
kung
it.
fu, and just memorizing move sets and counters and counters.
Have you played it?
Too in depth for me. I've seen people like dump hours and hours into it just to get far. And
I would again. I'd play it.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
yeah. One other game was announced at the State of Play, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Cowabunga Collection. This includes the arcade game Turtles in Time, TMNT 1,
Nice.
TMNT 2, the arcade game, the Manhattan Project, Tournament Fighters for the NES, Super NES, and Genesis. Essentially, you're getting maybe 5 or 6 games, but like 3 times each. You're also getting 3 Game Boy games. Essentially, all that shit you've already bought 5 times.
Yeah.
Have it again.
Congratulations, Josh.
Josh has 2 versions pre-ordered, including the collector's edition that comes with a real shell he can wear to work.
I mean, he owns the business. He can wear whatever he wants.
Yeah. It looks like a fine collection. If you don't own these games, you want to play them again.
I might buy this.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they added some like online functionality, like I could play with friends.
Sure.
That'd be cool. I don't see it happening, but
When do you play online with friends?
I actually did with Elden Ring the other day.
No shit.
My co-host from Need for Speed Running, he's like, hey, let's get a party. I'm like, why? Because I don't play these games multiplayer. Elden Ring games, Dark Souls games, but
Elden Ring games.
So I also said I don't have a headset. He said you can just use the controller. And I'm like, what? And
Yeah, you didn't know that?
so yeah, I was just in a party and we were just both single player, not even playing together, but we were just kind of chit chatting and stuff on there. And I said we finally reached a point where I'm talking to my controller like it's my friend.
And Carly's just like shaking her head.
She wasn't home. I wouldn't have done that if she was home.
Oh, well, oh yeah, you don't want to embarrass yourself.
No,
Like you guys aren't getting married or anything.
I do enough to embarrass
until he seals the deal, he's got to make sure she doesn't know that he's a dork.
Oh my God, don't tell her, dude.
I won't.
She doesn't know I have a podcast yet.
Oh shit. Nice.
Before we get on to the next story, we have our third and final beer from Tighthead. This is called the Reformator. I get Reformator.
Reformator, yeah.
Yeah. It's a Doppelbock lager. This is in honor of Martin Luther. And
The reformer of the church.
so
Apparently.
a Doppelbock. Doppel means double.
Yes.
So this is a double bock. A lager when it's only barley malt. It's an ale when wheat is added. Bocks are sweet, relatively strong, lightly hopped lagers. And I do enjoy me a good bock. I do like that style. Like
love
a
a
simple malty beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers. And this one sits at 8%.
Sweetness.
That's a wonderful red.
Yeah. It does have a little light sweetness to it. and this would be more drinkable than it should be.
Yeah, for 8%.
Well,
So there's been a new game that came out. Some people are talking about it. Elden Ring, I think is how you say it.
No, I don't know. I don't follow that shit.
Elden Ring is this is news. This is news, so we have to talk about it. Elden Ring is a massive triumph. The game is the number one selling game in February, and at the time of release is the second best selling game for the past 12 months, only behind Call of Duty Vanguard. Less than 20.
Call of Duty still going?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah,
It's actually entering a non-every year cycle, by the way.
People are freaking out, dude.
What am I going to play my game?
If they had waited a little bit longer, they could have said they're delaying it for the war, which would have made them more money. They really screwed the pooch there.
That's true.
Less than 24 hours after release, Elden Ring stream numbers were already 6 times greater than From Software's previous all-time high. Elden Ring is unique in that it doesn't have microtransactions. It's not a live service game, and it's got none of that other bullshit that they expect you to do. I saw someone say if this was an Assassin's Creed game, stone sword keys would cost you $2 each.
Yep.
You want to get access to that cool new armor or loot, you need to pay us money for it. Yeah.
Let that be a lesson to everyone who thinks that these games need to be live services.
This is shattering the games industry right now.
It should.
And not only that,
Fuck them.
It's changing like the landscape for how I interact with gamers on a daily basis. Literally everyone who has even heard a whiff of we're talking video games when I'm at the bar, they jump in like you guys talk about Elden Ring.
Yep.
And everyone, it's great. Everyone's like careful not to spoil anything, but they're also super excited to try and figure out where you are.
Yep.
And everyone's excited. It's got an old school feel to it as well, where a lot of people are going radio silent or they're avoiding Twitter and Google.
That's me.
Yeah, that's me. That's been everybody. I've finally gotten to the point of the game where I'm very at the end, so I'm opening up the Google to see what I want to maybe have checked out before the end. Yeah.
I think that's okay.
After 75 hours, I'm allowing it.
75.
Yeah.
All right.
But I don't know. It feels like an old school gaming experience where you talk with your friends about what this is and that, and I'm all in for that. If someone says, "Oh, you should take this over there, take this key down to that cave," I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I feel like games for a while were being dictated by the mass public, which would be people who play live service games because they wouldn't know any better, or they didn't know whether or not they were being swindled. So if they tell you what to buy and how to buy it, if that's their only game, you're going to have a bunch of people who buy it and play it that way. But as games become a little bit more like proliferated and they kind of entered the mainstream a little bit more, I think people are just like, why are we even going to tolerate this anymore?
Yeah.
Don't we just want a fucking video game? And especially the younger generations, got to give them credit. They know it. They know it by their heart because they've been sold that shit their entire lives. So now they can actually say like, this fucking Japanese open world game, which Japanese published games do not sell well in America generally. This is also something to really get a foothold on. It is about creation. It's about the art now. Like if you make good art, people will buy it. And that's the takeaway from this.
The Souls genre has been terrifying and not uninviting, but daunting to people that aren't familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't get it, and I stayed away for a long time. The fact that Elden Ring,
and then I put a gun to your head.
Elden Ring didn't only just open the door to people that haven't played Souls games;
Yeah.
it kicked the door open.
Yeah,
and
it's a much easier game. I will say that.
And the number, certain parts,
Most parts,
a lot of parts. I mean,
most over 50%.
I've seen some lists about what are the most difficult Souls games, and Bloodborne is often at the very top. Sekiro's up there as
It's
well.
only because of the Orphan of Kos, in my opinion, but it's fine.
And the Clock Tower lady was difficult.
Maria?
as well. Lady Maria, I found to be difficult. 3 phases was awesome.
I killed her on my own the first time.
Well, it's different for everybody.
I know, but that's like the crazy part about this too. Like I know people who killed Margit the first time, and I'm like, how?
I saw someone had a funny Twitter post the other day, like, 80 hours in the game, finally ready to beat the final boss. Look out, Margit.
That's a really good meme. Yeah, that's good.
But Elden Ring continues to shatter expectations, sales numbers, and it's exciting. It's exciting to have a game that is this monumental again.
I think it's important for video games as a whole, and I think that a lot of these publishers actually have a big foot on the neck of the people underneath them.
Yeah.
And they might lift up their foot a bit and try to understand that there's some creativity to be had. There's to let people kind of fly and show their true colors as game designers is probably the best way to go. That's what it is with American companies. They treat it like just a corporation rather than a creative enterprise, and that's what hurts them.
David, do you have any interest in actually starting this game, or is this one that you would avoid?
No, I would definitely start it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've heard some not so good things about it that I think are up to the individual.
Sure.
But as somebody who was looking forward to playing Horizon Forbidden West, I've been playing the most recent Assassin's Creed games. I've heard that Elden Ring is more of a kind of explore and figure things out on your own, which kind of brings me back to, as a kid, you were growing up with your friends playing Pokemon or something like that, and you would share these, tricks you found or little glitches. And that kind of brings me back to that social time where, you read it online or one of your friends hears about it and it's like, okay, you got to go to this place at night, bring this item, talk to this person, and then you get this whole storyline or quest unlocked. So that definitely appeals to me. The only thing is just, the difficulty. I grew up playing Demon Souls and I did not do well at that game. So I think that's the only thing.
I started with Demon Souls as well.
Yeah, it was rough.
Demon Souls is its own beast, though. I think Dark Souls is still kind of the thesis of what his design philosophy is as a creator.
Sure.
Demon Souls, I will say, I got so angry at Demon Souls that I almost broke my PlayStation 3 controller in half. And I got this brand new white one. I was just like, and then my ex was just watching me go I almost broke the damn thing in half. So I was like, yeah, I completely get it. What can I ask you? What boss in Demon Souls?
If you remember, that was
I don't remember, yeah.
Do you remember what killed you, or was it the entire thing?
I think it was the entire thing.
The world tendencies too. It was just
getting started, and I just couldn't get not the main premise, but just getting around, figure things out.
Yeah,
I think I just was the wrong age for that. But now looking at this, just trying to explore things on my own, and if you run into a boss that you shouldn't, and you'll just mess up and kind of go back. But
with this, it's great because if you hit your head on something, I'll just go and fuck off to one of the other billion spots in the map and go explore there.
Yeah.
And then after you're strong enough, you come back.
Yeah. So that's what I'm kind of interested in is it's open world, but it feels cleaner. I was playing...
it's the richest open world, too. Sorry.
I was playing Valhalla, and you just look and there's icons everywhere, things to do, and I'm like, it's overwhelming. Versus I kind of just want to hang out and explore.
Yep.
Which also brings me back to, not Heavy Rain, the Norman Reedus game.
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Hey,
Death Stranding. You're just walking. Sometimes you take a motorbike somewhere, but you're just walking, doing deliveries.
Yeah. I love some Death Stranding.
Yeah. So
we're going to talk about it later this episode too.
We love Death Stranding here. I got a job based off Death Stranding, and now I'm technically doing Death Stranding.
He works for Monster Energy.
Yep.
Or Delivery Man.
Yeah.
Or Norman Reedus.
I'm basically, yeah. But it's harsh, but then I'm kind of just
And as somebody who follows the speedrunning community, I can't help but give a little update every once in a while. At our time of recording, Speedrunner Distortion 2 has beaten Elden Ring in 36 minutes and 20 seconds.
36 minutes.
So those are fun things to know. I guess there's one other thing I wanted to bring up on the news. Square Enix recently uploaded 5,500 music tracks to an official music YouTube channel, making many of their games complete, like music libraries available for free on YouTube, with pre-made playlists. Like, this is our study playlist if you just want to have a lot of our music that's kind of designed to more like think music or like relax music. And it is news in that not every game company does this, and I think this is a really like awesome sign of just goodwill. Like, enjoy it instead of things, people like Nintendo like copyright strike anyone that does
either you offer it up or people will take it.
Yeah, and I think it's nice that Square did it themselves.
Yeah.
Before we take our break, I guess we could talk a little bit about what we've been playing. Elden Ring's 80 hours. I'm going to save that for when we start having Elden Dogs talk, though. I haven't played anything else outside of that since Hades. That's all I've been up to. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah,
I liked Hades.
Maybe we'll have you on for the Hades Indie Game Month.
Honestly,
this year.
you should be on it.
Yeah, if you like Hades, you're officially on that episode.
Sweet.
Okay.
What have I been playing
besides Elden Ring?
Oh, I've played other things. It kind of goes out in waves. I've been playing Pokemon Legends Arceus still as well.
Yeah.
That game is still kind of what my pinnacle of a Pokemon game should be.
Yeah.
The problem ends up being is that it's not multiplayer, and that's where I fall off because I'm a trainer, man. I'm a hound. I want to destroy people.
You're that guy stealing money from children.
Well, I want to
trainers.
I want to breed my Pokemon to a specific point where I raise them properly, and then they have the right stats to pair with the right Pokemon next to them as I play in double battles and like I destroy. This is not something that happens in this game. And I do feel like the next Pokemon game, Scarlet and Violet,
which has been announced recently, right?
It was, yes. And they announced all the starters.
We talked about this on the dog.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But I just wish Arceus had more like substance.
Yeah,
Depth might be the right word for it because I don't actually think that like when I'm going throughout the world and I'm doing stuff, I love catching the Pokemon. I love the thrill of trying to catch something without having to battle it. Like you're sneaking up on it and you can use like potions and stuff like that.
And I haven't played it, but I can imagine like, oh, this looks like a
I'll
great
let you
place
borrow
to
it. I've got it on fucking.
I'd love to play it physical, but like, all right, I know this kind of Pokemon would be in this location, or I saw electricity. Let's go see if an Electabuzz is over there, and that's kind of what it is,
and
that's cool.
That's cool. The problem ends up being that they limit the move pool to make it more of a centralized RPG, and it's still known as a spin-off, right? So this is not a mainline Pokemon game, and that's my biggest problem with it. If the next Pokemon game can incorporate everything from this into it, which it seems like they are. Have you guys seen the trailer yet?
No,
not yet.
If they do it and they pull it off and it looks like this and plays like this, because I have a deep feeling that after the success of Arceus, which has sold better than every other Pokemon game to date, they're going to be like, no, we need to go in this direction.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to be like, we've been resting on our laurels too long.
When does what's the name of the new games?
Scarlet and Violet.
When do Scarlet and Violet come out?
Later this year.
It might be perfect for the 3-year anniversary of Raw Dogs, where we can go back to the very first episode and talk about the new Pokemon game.
You have to play it with me, though. What do you want, Scarlet or Violet?
I'll have to know the differences.
It's literally just the legendaries for the most part. But if we trade with each other, we can get all the same Pokemon. It's fine.
I don't care either way then.
So I'm going to probably choose Violet.
Okay.
I always choose the one that seems less popular.
I just love Scarlet Begonias. Big Grateful Dead fan, so that makes sense for me.
I love the Scarlet Begonias. What's a begonia? No.
It's a pasta, I think. I don't know.
But starter-wise, you've got the duck with a bouffant. an apple alligator.
Okay, duck with a bouffant, apple alligator.
And then you've got a grass cat.
And I imagine grass cat's not exciting to you.
Grass cat is not well designed.
I imagine duck with bouffant is your favorite? Or no, you like apple alligator.
Because he's got a funny little thing going. And he just got a dumb look. I choose the one with the dumbest look on his face. It's why I always chose Bulbasaur. Second, I would choose Chikorita. Third generation, Mudkip. Duh. Yeah. Fourth generation, Turtwig.
I guess I was just a real dinosaur reptile kid because it was always Charmander, Totodile.
Yep.
Yeah. Jurassic Park struck a real chord with me when I was a child.
Fifth generation, my favorite generation, Tepig.
Yeah, you're losing me there. Yeah. After the second generation, I don't know anyone.
Sixth generation, Froakie.
You're so controversial with your Pokemon.
Seventh generation. Are you guys kidding me? You know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
which one?
You're talking about Flame Pig.
That was Tepig.
Is Tepig a flame pig?
Yes, he's Tepig.
Well,
tepid. It's fine.
Oh my god!
I just imagined he was a pig. I didn't know.
You charlatan.
Which Pokemon is that? A Charmander evolution?
Yes,
Tepig.
It's the evolution of Charizard.
Charizard evolved into Charlatan. Yeah. What have you been playing, David?
Oh,
tell us.
Back to Death Stranding for sure.
Did you actually start playing it again?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been playing kind of off and on it every chance I can.
Have you beaten it before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, where
you
you
introduced me to it. Gosh, where am I? I think I'm in the middle of the country. Jeez.
Are you in the snowies or are you in? Okay, so there's the big middle.
Not to the just cross the big lake.
Oh, so you're in kind of the main area, but you're not to the snowies yet.
No.
Okay, so I would say get as far as you can until you get trucks.
Yes.
No, I haven't gotten trucks yet.
Your main goal, at least from my perspective, is connect everything, get that road built, and then you can just start fucking cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
you become a god.
I forget the dude that requires 1,000 PSPs. There's one dude that you have to do some other side stuff besides just... I brought him 1,000 PSPs and he was not leveling up. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing in there?
Yeah.
And you had to do some other weird side stuff.
He's whacking off on them.
Yeah.
Of course.
I broke the other one. I need another one.
Broke this one.
So yeah, but loving Death Stranding.
Loving Death Stranding. Horizon.
Forbidden West.
Replaying that, not Forbidden West. I replayed the original just to get a feeling for Forbidden West. So doing Frozen Wilds right now. And
I never played that expansion. Is it good?
It's good. It introduces more story, new I guess you could say robots, but robot animals and new weapons. So it's pretty expansive, although a little short.
I will say I almost used 0 weapons when I played Death Stranding.
Oh,
I didn't.
Yeah, I just got the grenade launcher.
I only did it for boss battles, but whenever I was going up against the mules, it was always hit and run. I would try and drive in, grab whatever I needed, and get the fuck out.
I always just throw smoke grenades.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
I think...
I like the bola guns still.
Yeah. Well, I think if I had played Metal Gear Solid 5 or 4, really in earnest...
No, 5.
Well, I think if I had spent more time...
5 is the basis of Death Stranding.
Yeah, I think if I had spent more time in that... kind of gameplay loop that involved more combat, which I saw some Metal Gear Solid 5 stuff in anticipation for this episode. And the movement, I'm like, oh, looks very similar to Death Stranding, how he's moving around.
It's basically the Fox engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see it. Then Hades.
I've been playing Hades lately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some Hades.
So
how attracted are you to Zagreus?
Not as much as Dionysus.
Yeah.
Hey there, Zagman.
Zagman, bro, you want to go?
So I heard you've been hanging out with Than lately. Tell me about it.
You like poison and drunkenness.
Dude, just spreading hangovers all over the world. Dionysus
that's fucking awesome. Yeah. I love that shit.
Everyone's like, oh.
What a good status effect.
Oh, I'm so hungover.
What a great status effect that just makes people move slower and they attack less.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
That's clever.
So you've beaten Have you gotten to your dad and beat him once?
No.
You haven't beaten Dad yet?
Nope.
Okay.
You haven't beaten Daddy?
I was surprised a lot of people haven't beaten him.
A lot of people never beat Daddy.
Like, just hearing from some people on the show, I think Tom said he never beat Hades.
No, he never beat Hades.
And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I beat Daddy. I beat Daddy several times.
I beat him extreme measures. Yeah.
I never go that far. I only go to a point in a video game that I feel comfortable with, and then I'm just like, well, okay, I played it.
That was me too. And I tried 32 Heat once, and I got to Hades and got destroyed. But yeah, okay.
I would not.
You're enjoying the game though?
I am enjoying the game for sure. Just trying to find time to clear the backlog of games. I picked up Ghost of Tsushima as well.
Yeah, sounds like you got a lot of games on your plate right now.
I really want to play Ghost of Tsushima, and I can't.
Fall of the Foxes.
I want to play it so bad. Do you have it on PS4?
Yeah.
I've got Brad's PS4. Would you be willing to lend me the physical copy if you got it?
Yeah, I can dig it out.
Yeah.
I'll lend you something if you want, of course.
Dylan's got a lot of games.
I've got a lot of like Switch games essentially, but I only buy physical because I still believe in that ideology. But
you know, it's crazy. Some of my favorite games that I've played in the past year or two, I don't own because they've been on Game Pass. And
that also works for me as well. But I could never play a Ghost of Tsushima on.
Like Hades. No. Hades I don't own. Nier Automata I don't own.
Nope.
Bloodstained I do own. I didn't, and then I tried to play it again. They're like, oh, it's not here anymore. So I had to buy a used copy for like $15. I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I guess what I'm excited to play before we take this to break, I bought Duck Dynasty for $5.
Nice.
At GameStop. Carly was getting her teeth looked at, and I had to go kill some time. And I found Duck Dynasty for $5, and I said, "This looks as crappy as a Sneak King from Burger King."
I've actually seen a playthrough of that game.
I'm excited to check it out.
It has to be live because I have watched people play it. It's fucking wild. You're like a new intern for the Duck Dynasty guys.
I saw you can mess with Willie in the office, and I'm excited for that aspect.
You definitely mess with Willie, whoever he is.
Yeah.
I think it might mean your wiener.
His wiener.
I call him.
We haven't played the game yet. We don't know here, folks.
We're all speculating.
Yeah.
Listen, when you fuck with Uncle Ducky, though.
Ooh.
He's not real. I don't know who he is.
He might be. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to hear from some of the other amazing shows from the HyperX Podcast Network. Take a quick break, and we're going to be back to talk about our favorite homes/bases/home bases in video games.
Hurrah.
Nice.
We'll be back.
Take a time machine back to before the world went to hell, around the year 2000.
The 80s and 90s were so rad. The movies, the music, the TV, the games, that's what I want to talk about.
If you're cool enough,
join us and listen to Less Than 2000, because that's all we talk about.
Adam and Chad live
Less Than 2000.
Now part of the
HyperX
Podcast Network.
Loot drop incoming. Get to the drop at HyperX.com for store-wide savings. If you read the news like I do, you may have heard about rising inflation rates. Well, so is HyperX. And they're responding with deep discounts across all categories of HyperX gear. Head there quick, though. Once March ends, so does the madness. It's the HyperX Loot Drop, going on now at HyperX.com.
Oh, there's some big beers. I forgot.
Just a Watertown boy.
So I was out in Watertown drinking with Tom and Kate, and a pint glass at this bar has Jerry Hepp Excavating incorporated on the pint glass. And I'm like, this is the coolest pint glass ever. And then Kate, without me knowing, stole it and gave it to me later. She's like, I know you wanted it. So
Kate is a beast. I love her.
So Kate, thank you for that if you're listening. I think the best thing to drink first would be this Belgian. Yeah, because this will just get the glasses super dirty.
It will.
Okay.
Pulpy and shit. Appreciate you rolling the glass. Or rolling the beer.
David, you brought some beers to share with us in this episode. You want to tell us a little bit about this one?
Yeah. So this is the Trappist Roquefort 8 Belgian Dark Ale. So it is made by the Trappist monks out in Belgium. I've gotten really into Belgians this year. Really good flavors, little boozy.
Yeah.
But just the sheer variety of them that are out there is really interesting. And this one, the the Rockfort 8. There's 6, 8, 10, and 12. Just different aging statements, I believe. But the 8 is by far my favorite, and it's not too crazy. It's about 9%, 9.2. But this one's very nice. Very drinkable, good dessert beer. But the thing about the Trappist beers is that they have to be brewed under the direction of abbey monks. And since nobody wants to become a monk anymore,
They're becoming more rare.
they're becoming more rare.
I wonder if there's other beers that are required to be brewed under, like this one is only brewed by clowns. And I don't know. I was thinking for Raw Dog 66, we talk about like the devil in video games. I thought that'd be fun.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
3 episodes before we talk about sex in video games.
Nice.
Do I get to talk about Satanism?
We'll talk about games.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
It's just interesting that, like, in order for this to be, like, it has to be brewed by monks.
Yes.
And I don't know. People are like, oh, it's not Scotch if it's not made in like Scotland. It's little rules about locations or people. I think it's very interesting.
traditional.
I think that's
as well.
wonderful, yeah.
It's not brewed by monks. It's, under their direction. So maybe you have like one monk overseeing 20 people.
So he sends out a 3-page document you must sign and say that you read, and then you can make them, and it costs you $200.
Yes.
Maybe. I wonder. I'd be curious to know the full story there. But we're back. We've been back. I don't know how long we've been back, but we're back. And we're talking about
I definitely wasn't laughing.
what makes our favorite homes/bases, home bases, whatever you want to call it. Because this isn't about base building, which is a different like RTS thing, but this is about what makes our favorite like hub for us in video games where we can go
Upgrade.
our stuff, hang out with our party members, possibly invest some materials or resources into the hub world or yourself.
Yeah.
There's no place like home. This was a suggestion from our Discord. I believe it was from Brian. Thank you, Brian, if it was. And if it wasn't, you don't get any thanks then, Brian. But I think you deserve this one.
Get out of here, Brian.
Sorry, Brian.
Get out of here, Brian. Yeah, so we're just talking a little bit about some of our favorite home bases. And David, I'll let you go first.
What's your favorite home base in a video game?
Oh, favorite? I would probably say Death Stranding.
Really?
Just to go back.
But are you talking just about the hubs that you go into, or are you talking about the room you go into?
Talking about the room.
Oh, okay. Where you kind of walk around, you can take a shower, you can take a piss, and you can kind of... That is honestly one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
And then there are weird things that happen within it that kind of shake it up. That's a really good choice.
What's your favorite part of that room?
I like the little like mini figures you get that's behind your bed, and just for like different encounters, things like that you just get, and then Norman Reedus is like, here, look at my minifigs.
He kind of he looks at you as a
exactly.
person.
He really breaks the fourth wall there.
He's just like, come on. Like if you leave the controller for too long, he'll go like dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of Norman Reedusisms where it's just him being himself and being bizarre. I like that you can actually just get drunk in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get fucking knockered.
And he just starts like throwing everything off the table. I'm like, I've been there.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah.
And it just goes back to your inventory and just like progress as well. Just to go shows how far you've gotten. Like you always have like your little, sunglasses here, or like a hat or something like that you get along the way in a quest.
I like that in bases where you can also track your progress.
Yep.
If you've gotten to a certain point or unlocked something, like here's a shirt that says you helped out this character. Something as little as that I can like look at, and it makes me help remember my progress in the game.
And then you, as you go along, when you face, oh my God, what is his name?
Troy Baker.
Not Troy Baker. No, as you go along and you face your dad, it is, you eventually get more like army men figures that show up along the lines of it as well. And that's actually more interesting too, because it's kind of like hinting at you, like this childish like understanding of what like approaching fatherhood would be or something like that. Because I'll say this, Death Stranding, for whatever the fuck it is, it's all about fatherhood.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's about motherhood
And pizza delivery.
and
Delivery.
hoodhood. Yes. Oh,
You're Fry from Futurama.
Yes.
yeah.
So
I dare you to ask your fathers right now
I mean, and that's something that,
if they never delivered shit to you.
and that is something that I want in all my bases too. I can go into my armor, I can customize things. It's kind of like a neat little area where you can kind of catch up on everything you've been up to. I know at the end of playing Elden Ring every day, I did it. I said Elden Ring again.
He said it.
I always go.
Clock it.
I always go back to the round table hold, which will be my, I guess, first suggestion for like home base.
I barely go back.
I always like to end there. I just chat with NPCs because there's always something that might change or a door that might open.
Did you hug her?
Well, yes, you'll find out more later. If
I
you haven't.
hugged her
I didn't do it
later.
Well, I didn't do it at
But first I said no.
Well, Carly was in the room and it says, "Will you let me hold you?" And I was like, and then a message on the floor said, "Try finger butthole." And I said, I don't know what this will do, and I don't want Carly to be in the room when me and Fia try fingers butthole.
It's a debuff item.
Yeah, but there's more to it later. But
I know.
I don't know. There like with a lot of games, I do just always go back to my home base at the end of the session. And I'm like, I don't know, it just makes sense to be there and just check shops, just drop stuff off if I need to. And yeah, the round table hold, it's not the best home base by any stretch of the imagination.
It's kind of hard to move around.
But there are certain things in there, like if you wanted to upgrade your weapon, there's not a lot of options for like end game stuff. There is another option, but if you want to do spirit tuning, if you want to do a lot of stuff, you have to go back to the round table hold. So, and with Death Stranding as well, I would often do that. I'm like, well, finish my last delivery, just get to the bedroom, have Norman Reedus make some shit bombs, and then I can turn it off.
That's what I love as well. It's like, it actually has a purpose as not just only a save room or a progress room. It's like, you shower, you get all the, BT stuff off you, and then you make a grenade.
And you get an advertisement for Norman Reedus' new motorcycle show for some reason.
Not anymore, though.
That's
Those
probably
are all gone.
That's probably okay because now
I haven't seen anything like that.
Those are all gone.
yeah, they were in the original
Monster
release.
is
Actually, no, I think I did.
Monster is gone
sounds familiar.
too.
Monster is still there.
That can't be right.
Yeah.
And when you're in your bedroom and just Guillermo del Toro shows up out of nowhere, he's like, "My name is Dead Man." I'm like, I don't know. Just give me a second to wake up here, Guillermo.
All right. I like that one as like a hub because it actually punctuates the game pretty well. Because if you were just walking around in constant daylight, you would never have a conception of time. There's no nighttime in Death Stranding. If you've ever noticed that.
Gosh, I'm sure I did, but I haven't thought about it before.
Yeah.
And there's no nighttime.
Okay. I wonder if, there must be night times that we just don't see.
Yeah.
There's implied night times, but they're encouraging the audience to one, believe that Norman Reedus would never Sam would never travel at night, and then
Is it implied to be more dangerous in the game?
no, there is actual no implication for nighttime being more dangerous than the other. The only thing that's dangerous is Timefall.
Yeah.
So maybe I should have brought this up on the other one because that's something I observed right away. I'm like, well, there's no nighttime.
Yeah.
This could actually be, and in truth, this might actually be what it is that Kojima based this off of Iceland and Greenland. And in those places of the world, sometimes night does not occur.
Yeah.
This could be another cycle of the world where maybe that doesn't happen anymore. Or maybe light travels different through Timefall. These are all theories I should have probably said before.
Dylan, what is one of your favorite home bases in video games?
My first one would probably be Stardew Valley.
Okay. I was absolutely not sure where you'd go, so that's cool.
Stardew Valley is a fantastic video game. I think it's one of the best simulation video games that's ever existed. It's made by one guy.
Is almost the entire game take place at your home base too?
Almost essentially.
Okay.
So it's based off of a 24-hour cycle. You have a certain stamina meter, essentially, as you go throughout the day and you do whatever the hell you're going to do. And then you come home to your base and you go to bed. You wake up, you do your farming, and you do whatever you have to do in order to keep your production line running. That's the key, though, is that you can build your house bigger. You can put more crap in your house. It's kind of inconsequential. But I think a good home base is a place you have to return to. It's not optional. So in this one, you have to go there or else you'll pass out. You'll lose half your items, I believe. And then you'll wake up the next morning and then some guy will come up and he'll be like, hey, I found you falling asleep on the road back to your house. Why were you doing that? Were you drinking or what's the deal? And I'm just like, I wasn't. I was in a dungeon. I was literally fighting bats. And he'll just be like, yeah, sure, dog.
You fight bats in Stardew Valley?
So there's actually combat in the game.
I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
You would love Stardew Valley.
Every single person that's mentioned it, nothing but glowing recommendations.
It is one of the close to perfect games that I've ever played. And I can recommend it to almost anyone. It's easy. It is about farming. It is about understanding like relationships with the people in town. It's just literally like it's pressing X.
It sounds like a very ideal building a base home type game.
Yes. Well, and then you have this whole entire farmland and you can build that out exactly how you want. So you can be like, I want a silo here. Okay, make a silo there. You have to pay for it though, and you have to earn it. And then I'm going to have farmland over here. Well, I'm going to make this all wheat. I'm going to make all these strawberries.
Does it feel like work at all?
No.
Okay, good.
It does not feel like work because at a certain point you can automate it. At first it feels like work. And then once you automate it, I'm literally just harvesting strawberries, putting them in my backpack, and then selling them to the local grocer.
One thing about bases is a lot of them require material investment.
Yep.
Yeah.
And some that we will talk about require so much materials that it feels like work to try and make your home like what you want it to be. Hades comes to mind.
Hades
Assassin's Creed 2 comes to mind. And
God.
Anytime that like, I don't know, I don't want my hub to feel like work. Yeah. And it's great that Death Stranding doesn't feel like work, and Stardew Valley, where you're literally farming, doesn't feel like work.
Well, can actually say this, and this is such a glowing recommendation of this game that I don't normally do it. Carly would love Stardew Valley.
Okay. We use this as a transition point. Carly tried Animal Crossing, which I think is a very good example of...
Different.
Okay, because...
Different.
Animal Crossing is all about building a home and an island.
Animal Crossing is about collecting. Animal Crossing is about collection.
But also you're collecting things for your museum, so you can go look at the museum. You collect enough to build a chair, and you can look at your chair like, this is my chair. That is building a home.
Yeah, but the understanding with this is that you're not just building a home, you're building an entire farmland. You have a purpose for what you're cleaning out and what you're creating around you. You get to build whatever that looks like because everyone starts with the exact same thing. So I think Carly, I honestly, I'll text Carly today. I'll tell her to fucking play it. It's
Carly,
on Game Pass.
I can't wait to hear Carly say, Dylan texted me to play a video game.
I'll text her right now. Hold on.
And Dylan, like, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but maybe I was just watching a lot of speed running of Stardew Valley. But
yes,
are things particular timing? Like, you have to talk to this person on this day to get this tool or building or something like that. Just from what I've seen. that kind of takes me out of the casual into, more specific and involved. But again,
that being a speed run though might be more maximizing resources, whereas a lot of that could be done at different times.
Yeah.
I know I watched part of a speed run of Stardew Valley, and one of the first things they did was like bomb their entire farm because it was the quickest way to like.
Yeah, it's the quickest way to clear out debris. I don't know. For the most part, I found myself with this game, especially. This is a game I've introduced to people who don't like video games.
Sure.
And I've said, this is what this is. Here's a few tips. Go for it. And they went wild with it. This is a game that non-video game obsessives can approach and completely get absorbed in.
Speaking of getting absorbed in, David, can you tell us about this next beer we're drinking?
So this is the Dino S'mores Stout from Off Color Brewing. Off Color is out of Chicago, Illinois.
60652.
60652.
Scruff McGruff.
So this is a pretty boozy stout, 10.5%.
We're getting there today.
Made with marshmallow, vanilla, some graham cracker, and cocoa nib.
This is very much a Tom beer. Tom loves his big old Patry stouts. Okay, this sounds great.
It is very nice. They did a bourbon barrel aged version a few years ago. They only sold it in, I think, like 6-ounce pours, 6-ounce bottles. They were these little tiny bottles about this big.
No shit, really.
Look at this
because they were so cool.
Look at this cute fucking can. A little like mouse.
That's
like,
their
roasting
art
a marshmallow.
style. Their art style is very unique
how I
that
draw.
way. One of their other beers is a kettle sour, I want to say, called Bear.
Bear, I like that.
And it's just a bear like spread-legged and then just pixelated crotch.
I love that.
A very good beer. Off Color does some really cool stuff.
I like it too when breweries will put like 2 or 3 tasting notes on the side to let you know predominantly what is going to be in there. Like it says high gravity and chocolate.
Yep.
And it's got a little picture. I think that's a nice thing. As someone who's done a lot of bartending, it's nice when you get like a lead when someone asks about like this IPA versus this, and you can say, grapefruit notes and this. You always need a couple words to describe a beer, and the fact that this has chocolate and high gravity on the side is great. And it's 10.5%, which means I'm staying in my home base tonight. I'm going to make some shit grenades.
Which means I got to be careful.
I make some chicken eights.
Whenever I make shit grenades, Dylan has to be careful.
Mm-hmm. All right, Brad, I want to hear your home base.
I guess the next one that's a great beer. Oh my, it's a nice.
That's wonderful.
Very nice finish.
The cocoa and the there's like that deep, rich like marshmallow, like almost like a burnt marshmallow. That's nice.
It kind of
s'mores.
It kind of feels like it's going to finish flat, and then there's like this beautiful like chocolatiness that just kind of comes through.
Yeah,
at the
it
end.
pushes
Very
up.
smooth and like velvety almost.
Yeah,
It's fantastic. I really like that.
it's great.
A home base that I guess I have to talk about would be the Normandy for the Mass Effect games.
Yep.
As far as a location where you're always going back to, because you have to go travel places. You have party members that you do want to always check in. Garrus, what's up? Just running some diagnostics. And Shepard. And then you go and hit on Morden. He's like, oh, geez, I didn't know you wanted... I'm not interested, but I can...
I'm more of a Samara guy.
I bet you are, Shepard.
Yeah, I am not surprised you're a Samara guy, but I like that.
Are you not surprised? Is that literally? Oh, okay. Apparently, I do.
Samara's
It's fine.
Samara's the old lady.
The older Asara.
Oh, sorry, correct. Yes.
She's beautiful.
No, she is. I like that you can. I like that you can. No, no. I like that you can hit on Morden.
Of course, Morden. Yeah.
Morden's
okay.
like, oh, geez, I didn't think about that.
We
Shepard.
got a romance
I guess
Garrett.
no.
That's how you got to do it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you go back to your Normandy. You get to talk with all your party members. Which in that game, that is one of the best parts of the game is going back to your base.
Yeah.
And just catching up with everybody. You also have your storage lockers. You can go in there and change your weapons out, although you probably don't wind up doing that often.
You can change the loadout of your friends too,
That's good.
which can actually benefit you in the long run because they have bad loadouts all the time. If you do the default.
I can't remember how useful a lot of the party members are in that game.
Jacob can be good if you give him a good shotgun.
Isn't Jacob one of the least interesting characters in the series?
Yeah, I don't know a lot about him.
My dad was a soldier. That's it, I think.
Yeah, all right.
Sounds about right.
As good as Kate Nolenko or the racist woman from the first movie, or the first.
I
game,
like Ashley. She's fine.
Ashley's like the Trump supporter you're still friends with.
She's the Trump supporter I would still kiss, but she wouldn't
You wouldn't bring her home.
No.
And Kate Nolenko waits for 3 games to try and kiss you, but yeah. I love the Mass Effect trilogy.
The second game, I think, does it best.
I think a lot of people say that, though, just because the characterization is the best in that game.
But that also helps with the home nature of it. You remember when Legion shows up? It is within your home.
I love Legion so much, and there's nothing that bothers me more than in Mass Effect 3 that they paint the Renegade option as helping Legion instead of Tali Zora's group.
Yeah.
Like, just fighting for them to be able to survive and, like, equal rights is painted as the Renegade option. Like, no, Legion's a good dude, and you guys have been shit to them.
Did you actually not get the middle option?
No, I say both of them, but the fact that they paint saving the Geth. Saving the Geth, and the fact that they painted that as the negative thing, I had issues with. I guess I just have a problem with morality systems where they try and say...
I don't like morality systems at all.
Morality systems can be fine in certain scenarios, but when it's not morality-based, when it is just like ethics-based, there should be an ethics system instead of a morality system.
But that's not. But then it's not even ethics. They're telling you what's good and what's bad.
Well, I know
that's not.
I'm saying there could be an ethics system and a morality system,
right?
But instead, it's just good versus bad, where it's like this versus that would be the better way to frame it. Mm-hmm. But left trigger or right trigger versus red or blue is not that situation.
Mm-hmm. With Shepard too, the options are always like, I'm going to stroke your hair or I'm going to slap you. That's literally all it is. It's just like you're either a complete villain or a complete paragon,
dude,
and everything in between is just fucking dumb and silly.
The fact that there is an option where a journalist is like making a false story about you and you can just punch her in the face. I was like, this is a revelation.
Jessica Chobin, that's the model for that, by the way.
Yeah.
She did like stuff for like IGN and stuff like that, and later on she was just like, I regret being in that game just because, like, in that game you can also fuck me, I guess. It's like, oh, man.
There's no weirder fucking than Yakuza Like a Dragon, though, I will say that.
Well, if you're Ichiban, there's no weirder fucking than to fuck Ichiban.
You could have won a modeling competition and get your model in the game. And
frankly,
then Ichiban gets a blowjob from you underneath where you work.
Frankly, he's handsome, though, so...
After the glow up.
What about Ezio? He's got his, town that he's rebuilding. What, AC?
I don't like his little town.
It just felt like a waste of, okay, here's a shit ton of money. Here's what you can do with it. But that's it.
Then in the third one, Brotherhood, it was that gets destroyed immediately.
Oh, really?
That's the whole entire plot of it. Cesare, the son of the Pope, literally destroys the town, and so everything you built in 2 means nothing. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to build it, and it feels like it should.
Well, I mean, it's worth building in the one Assassin's Creed 2,
Cesare,
but then in the expansion, it's gone. Those are separate games, and it always is.
They're not separate games to me because I think the Ezio trilogy is actually kind of one game.
The fact that you have to start at the beginning after one game to do something else means those are separate experiences to me.
I think the fact that they kept this character is a testament to how good that character was.
Villa de Auditore is the base there. Monteriggioni.
You're pretty close, yeah.
It's not too far off. I do like the building of a village, though. I like if you want to get better.
I like that, but when Cesare destroys it,
well, that's in another game. It's part of a trilogy, but it's in another game.
No, But they came out a year away from each other.
Still, it's a separate game.
I don't care. You don't.
But I like that you there's different shops, and if you want to get this top item, invest these materials. Assassin's Creed have always those games have always been a problem for their collectathon nature, and they
still are.
I think Villa de Auditore, in at least the original Assassin's Creed 2, is a great home base. Or is it even the second one? There's
The second one.
The second one. And the third one that gets destroyed. But
yeah,
I will say the Assassin's Creed also has some of the worst bases, like in Assassin's Creed 1, where you get pulled out of the Animus and you're just Desmond and you can't do shit. And you have to go talk with like two people.
That gave you lore perspective, though. I understood why that happens.
Background.
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
Nope, I think that's okay.
It's okay, but it's
not. It should be optional, but I think it's okay. But that's something they learned later, is that a lot of people aren't going to want to exit the Animus. They learned that people being in these historical contexts is the place where you want to be. You don't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah. And you
could be a normal human being in the modern day world and to learn their story. That's stupid.
It's almost more story based than anything, because you don't really do a lot of building of your character outside of the Animus.
No.
It's only when you go back in, you go into your menus as, Ezio or Altair or whoever you are.
Can we agree what the best Assassin's Creed is?
That is, classic series, Black Flag.
It's always going to be Black Flag.
I loved Origins. I loved Origins,
Yeah,
and that's
Origins
a different. That is the next evolution. Origins is the next evolution of the series.
I'm a puppy dog of that era of history in general.
Okay, so you're saying building up your ship is a great base, because that is a fucking great base.
The Jackdaw.
Jackdaw.
Yes.
Oh man,
what a great base.
You can teach your people to sing songs with you.
Well, yeah, and now we are ready to head for the Horn. Way, hey, roll and go. Yeah, no, like,
that was good, Dylan. That was good.
I know.
He has a great voice.
I don't, but thank you. I play a lot of sea shanties on my accordion. So with this game, especially, the Jackdaw does end up becoming your home base. It's a moving home base. That's cool.
Yeah.
That concept's not new, though. I mean, airships have been a thing in games for a long time, which are kind of a home base. But I like the customizability of it, and also the combat nature of your home base is cool.
Yes. So you have cannons. Your shit in Final Fantasy VI, you can fly around on it, and you've got those real effects graphics. Just
in FF7, you can bang Tifa in the Chocobo room, but
exactly,
there's not a lot of combat.
That's what everybody wants, though.
But you gotta move your ships. You gotta move how the cannons move, and you've got to literally account for your ship in its entirety. And that's what I like about it. That's the fantasy, right?
I like that Black Flag had such good combat that even in Assassin's Creed Origins, which granted probably didn't have a ton of sea combat back in that time period, they're like, we're making the most sea combat we can out of what happened in this time period.
Yep.
Because that was so good. We have to do everything we possibly can to make it play like Black Flag, because that was such a huge success. It was a huge success, yeah.
I mean, I would too. Like,
and Origins doesn't have something like that where I don't know, where you can go back and just kind of like.
That's why Odyssey did better too.
I haven't played Odyssey yet. Odyssey and Ragnarok are the only ones that I haven't moved into. So.
I want to do I want to do Ragnarok so badly because I am an extreme Danophile. What do you want to call it? I really understand. I understand the Viking culture very well, and in truth, I ascribe to a few things within that. But,
David, what were you going to say?
So I was going to talk about Odyssey as a kind of break where before we were talking about the Animus and getting out of the Animus into the real world, Odyssey really kind of almost ruins that, where you're in the story, you're really getting into it, and you have the split of you could be
Cassandra
or
Alexios.
And I've never heard a single person say play as Alexios. So everyone's like, Alexandra's the only way.
Cassandra's the way.
Is Cassandra.
And then they're like, okay, you got to go out, and it's like an office building, and you're just like walking around an office, like checking on people's computers.
Yeah.
It's super weird and world breaking, where you were previously in like this awesome, Greek, very immersive world.
Yes.
And then it's like, okay, you're in an office. And then you get like a call from somebody to do something. And I'm like, what the heck is this? What am I doing? And then it just totally kills it. And it happens like at a lot of really high points in the story in the game.
Here's your momentum. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It just totally screws it.
I've always thought Assassin's Creed, they've spent so much time in their entire franchise in the modern world. If they don't at some point make an Assassin's Creed set in the modern times, that is a huge disservice to the series. Like eventually it has to reach a breaking point in the modern era, and you will have to be an assassin climbing. To me, it has to. Because otherwise,
they tried it and it didn't work. They literally experimented with that within the.
Isn't that just Deus Ex?
Well, I haven't played Deus Ex, but they experimented with it in one point where Desmond is doing some climbing stuff. But
that was.
But that was an experiment.
There's also it wasn't an experiment. There's literally a mission where you're in like a stadium and you have to. Yep. And you have to kill someone within a stadium, and you have to move along, and you have to do exactly what Ezio does, or Connor.
But that was just one experiment. I think they need to make an entire game based on that. In my opinion, in the modern era, there's the climbing capabilities of today is better than anything.
Yeah, but that's what would be cool. The problem ends up being is that people like these things as period pieces.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think, but also...
I prefer them as period pieces, because if I want a modern Assassin's game, I don't want the mechanics of Assassin's Creed, because they're not always good.
Think about this, though. Okay, so you're in modern-day Chicago. We'll take Chicago.
Chicago is good.
And, all right, so there's this building, and you're climbing up it, and it says, this building is this... Like, you can be... factually accurate and informative at the same time. Like, this building was built by this, and this aspect of... this company. And I don't know, it can still teach you a lot about...
I don't need no, but period pieces, people don't want to experience what they are in now. They want to experience something different.
But treat it like a period piece, but have it be modern.
So like early 1900s?
You can even do 1990s if you want or something.
There's a new Pixar movie.
There you go. It's a period piece, but it takes place 30 years ago, and it still has the informative nature. Do 60s. 60s has a lot of opportunities for historical figures.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Historical figures, Chicago.
Turn off
or
the
New
podcast.
York.
We're going to Ubisoft.
I think Josh was just there.
Really?
Yeah, he posted in the Discord. He said, I'm at Dylan's favorite place. It was the Ubisoft offices. He was outside.
Oh, I didn't. I don't read the Discord. I'm bad.
You do sometimes.
But I have to feel like I want to, because otherwise I'm too overwhelmed. So... Yeah, 60s. Now the 60s would be a period piece.
And that'd be fun.
And then we can all listen to Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones and Born on the Bayou.
Yeah.
Instead of collecting sea shanties, you go collect vinyl.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yep. And like Creedence Clearwater was this kind of band, and they made this kind of music.
That's actually not too bad. If they did that,
you go back to your home base where you have a nice vinyl setup.
But the problem then would be getting all the licensure.
That's a lot of licensing.
Because you want to know what sea shanties don't have?
Grand Theft Auto
owners.
Grand Theft Auto has navigated that. They have original Jay-Z music in their new DLC.
Yeah, but look at the new remastered
San Andreas
trilogy. Oh, they don't have any of those songs anymore.
I would have to always bring up Suikoden 1 and 2 for home bases. Typical. Not many people play them. I've played them, but...
Ones was so game changing.
What did you like about Ones?
I liked Ones because I didn't even realize you could ask a person to join you.
Yeah.
And so like when I went to like a town, I was like, and he's like, oh, we'll talk for a bit. And then there's like an option to talk more. And then you talk with him and he's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll join your fucking crew. I'm like, wait, what?
And then they go back to the castle.
Then they're all at the castle, and you're just like, oh, I don't need to go to this town anymore. I don't have to smith here anymore. I have a smith of my own. It's beautiful. It's really nice.
I really liked it. PlayStation 1 RPGs, and you would gather 108 different characters to join your army.
Legendary
some of them would be playable.
Stars.
Some would be playable, but a lot of them would just be there at your base.
Yeah.
And, all right, I need a blacksmith. Go say hi to somebody, maybe do a quest, do this. Item shop, rune maker, or like rune person, Jean.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's a person. She might be something else, but that was a base that evolved with you, and you got new shops. There was always an elevator maker for some fucking reason. There would be elevators, and you needed them, and you'd go recruit Adlai or whoever they were.
Yeah.
And the Suikoden series, your home base was an entire village in the second one. You built a city, and you brought people there. There was even NPCs outside of your party, and it was great. There'd be a cooking room. There'd be mini games. There'd be climbing the side of the castle. And Suikoden 2 as my favorite home base. Suikoden 3 has a really good one too, where Thomas is his name, I believe. And he wasn't.
I've never played anything past 2.
There were 3 main characters, and then the 4th character was the one who like ran the castle. But the Suikoden series is all about like kind of building a community and an army, and how everybody plays a part. And I like that even someone's like, I just run in a graveyard. I am of no use to you. And you're like, we could use someone to run a graveyard. He's like, I don't want to do this. And you're like, you should do it. He's like, fine.
Yes, fine. Right. Fuck it. I will. I don't know.
If you want me there, I will, but I don't think I'm useful. And you're like, you're useful. And this Suikoden series. Love it. Love you, Suikoden.
I stare at this art all the time. You have no fucking clue.
It's lined up. It's lined up to be the art that you look at over here.
Because it's right next to something I drew, which means that I have to compare. Yeah, and that's not okay. I tried to draw something in someone else's style, and then I just look at this, and I'm like, oh, what a beautiful little bit. Okay.
So similar to, not similar, I suppose, but in the same vein, just as an honorable mention is Fallout 4 to me. You know, it's a lot about settlement building. You have your kind of main base.
That's interesting.
Your home, you know, you lived here.
What was your main home? Was it always the place where you started?
So Paradise, whatever it was, where you start.
Paradise Falls or something like that.
Yeah, Paradise Falls.
I don't know what it's called. I literally don't. I don't remember.
I've never played a Fallout game.
Oh.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I would never lie to you about anything ever.
Bradley, I am so kind of... You
Bradley Ward.
You played Skyrim.
I own it 5 times.
He's owned it all 5 times, but he can't play a Fallout game?
I own a lot of Fallout games. I just haven't really played them.
Yeah.
I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of...
I tried playing, I don't know if it was 3 or 4, but there was a VAT system, and I didn't get it, and I didn't like it, and I walked away.
Oh, you don't like VATs? It's okay, whatever. Yeah, I can actually agree with you.
That's part of it, like the core kind of game.
Somewhat. I don't use VATs.
I know in Fallout you do shoot people in the brain sometimes. Speaking of brains, David, what beer is this?
This is brains.
Whoa!
Strawberry pineapple double fruit smoothie sour with let's see, strawberry, more pineapple, more pineapple, sea salt, and vanilla beans.
Sea salt.
That's very nice.
Yeah,
that's
just a little extra. So very nice. I think Brad and I really like Drecker. You're the one who put me onto it, so I like their Chonk series.
Yes,
as well. Their Sunday Sour.
Love Drecker. Drecker's great. Their beer is all fantastic.
Yep,
and they're on the cutting edge of hipster beers.
Look at him go.
A lot of sours.
Making notes of things.
So
as if they matter.
Fallout 4.
Fallout 4. So where did you build your main base?
The Paradise Falls, where you start.
The one, like literally, like, so you can like kind of build out with.
So bad at doing all the other ones, because it was just excessive.
It's all keep up.
Exactly.
They're asking way too much of you to maintain.
Preston would say, we've got another settlement we need you to fight. It's that meme of him just like asking for more stuff. So the customization in Fallout 4 is pretty extensive, but to your point, Brad, it becomes a chore where you have to get materials to build more. You build, ramshackle buildings, walls, turrets, things like that to prevent whatever.
But you're actually building
incursion.
the structures.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can build like the stairways up into like a new thing, and you can kind of do it in like a way where it kind of has like these point and click lock on.
It is. It's very grid.
Yeah, it's grid based, and it doesn't always work.
No. But it's just like you have stuff that floats or stuff that, collides with the ground, and then you have the existing, bombed out homes that I always just use to just, delete everything that was inside and then put stuff in there.
I mean, you can, but it doesn't delete the house itself, which is weird.
Yeah.
It feels like you can build something around it, but they always want that architecture to be there because I think they're proud of whatever the fuck they made.
Yeah.
It's very strange because if you really wanted, you could make a whole fucking world.
I've seen people do that, and it's insane what people will make, but I'm just like, I'm here for the story. Got to find my son. And, that.
Well, it turns out your son, not a great thing to find.
Spoiler alert.
So I think we each have time for one more base.
Yes.
Okay. Dylan? Is it Balam Garden?
Balam Garden? No, it wouldn't be Balam.
I don't know. I know you like that. You got the Griever tattoo.
They always run out of hot dogs.
Why would I ever want to go there? They don't have any.
Why would I want to run out of hot dogs? I mean, home bases.
I'll go. Persona 5. Every time that you go back to LeBlanc, I, of course, haven't played some of the other Persona games, that being any other ones, but Persona 5 was one of my favorite games of all time. And at the end of every day, you go home to LeBlanc Cafe where you're staying with, what's his name?
Ichi?
No.
Jujin. I'm close.
It doesn't matter. You go back to LeBlanc.
You have to look it up. You have to literally look it up.
Okay. Sujiro?
Okay.
Is that it?
I was thinking Juju, Suju, Bushu, Nunu,
Soju?
Nunapapu, tu. Like I was.
Yeah, Sojiro, that's right.
Sojiro.
Yeah, I like it. Persona 5, you go back to LeBlanc every night where you're staying because you were a bad boy and you have to stay with Sujiro.
You weren't a bad boy, though. You kept a woman from getting raped.
You were you have the persona of a bad boy anyways.
I'm sure.
And you have to learn how to make coffee. Mostly you hang out with your cat that talks with you. And
he's great.
Morgana's great, and it was just always great going back there. Eventually you can do some more customization and like work on tools.
Yeah.
It was never huge, but sometimes you go to bed and you just wind up hearing that boo boo boom 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 boom, and you'd be in like the prison, and loved it. That was a base I always like going back to, and I started up Persona 5 Strikers the other day, and the fact that it's just right back to LeBlanc, easy nostalgia feels, and that's
Try playing 4, bitch.
I mean, it's either emulator or I borrow a Vita because, as Stoy said the last episode, that shit's expensive.
The more I keep my version of Persona 4 Golden, everyone's like, you don't even have a Vita anymore. I'm like, well, this is mine. Yeah. And I have the card that goes along with it where I have 100% of that video game. I was in a bad point. No, I that's actually a really good home base because you wake up in the morning and it almost feels like it's a home. It's a place where you go down in the day and he says like, what are you up to today, dude?
It really drives in the night-day cycle.
Yep.
The passage of time, months, days, and that's not something a lot of video games do well. And you wake up and I'm trying to talk to Ryuji, I'm trying to talk with Takamaki, I need to do this, I need to do this. I only have so much time to do all of it, and you have to choose what's important. But
It's nice waking up at home. It's nice going to bed at home. And it's just like the same reason I don't like to get blackout drunk and stay at a friend's house. I like to wake up at home.
I prefer it.
Yeah,
I prefer it. I can do it elsewhere, but I prefer it.
Yes. Well, I think that's the entire point of that game is the understanding of home, and a lot of the Persona games especially are about interpersonal relationships, and I think that like when you find like friendship in those games and you find what home is, I think that's what Persona 4 actually excels at better than 5.
Is this your choice? Persona 4's base?
Yeah. Because
what's the base? Is there a name for the base?
There's no base.
There's no base. Okay.
You live in this town. It's a small town, and there have been murders, and it seems like they happen based off of TV. Literal like analog televisions, and people are getting murdered. And so you keep going along within this, and you get brought into this town because your mom thinks you're like a problem child or whatever.
I love those movies. Love the Problem Child film series.
You love that. You love that one.
They're very good.
Okay.
1 and 2 anyways.
I just want to strangle that. I just want to strangle that redhead like but it's fine.
I like
Don't
that
worry about it.
Kramer is the bad guy in the first one.
Michael Richardson.
Yeah.
Okay.
The bow tie killer.
Yeah, the bow tie killer. But like I that game is more about like a murder mystery. But your home actually then ends up being like your only safe place.
Yeah.
So you're talking to a bunch of your friends because this takes place 10 years before Persona 5.
Because it's in the same universe, which is
It's
wonky.
the same universe, but this takes place in an era of flip phones.
Yeah.
So, and like analog TVs. So you're doing CRT horseshit, but you're kind of just dealing with it. And and in the night, something will crawl out of the television and kill certain people. And then it's your job to kind of figure out, what are we actually doing here?
We do have to cover Persona 4 on Raw Dogs at some point.
Yes. I'm going to Palpatine this. Yes.
Have you heard the tragedy of Darth
Plagueis the Wise.
Not Plagueis. Who's someone from Persona 4?
Darth Kotaru the semi-queer.
I like that.
55, 24.
No, that's a deep keep in. That is a good one. David, do you have one other last base you'd like to talk about at all?
You mentioned it earlier, but Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing is very much the home base game.
Where did you start with Animal Crossing?
My first console was a GameCube. So I had the OG Animal Crossing, and then I graduated to New Leaf on 3DS.
Fine.
Fine.
The OG was like so good.
Wasn't that weird?
That game came with a memory card, correct?
Yeah,
That game came
because
it
they
was so
required that
big.
much space.
Literally 52 block mega memory card.
Yeah,
and
which is nothing now.
But
now it's nothing.
The only game that ever really justified the memory card holder in the case because it required that memory card for the game.
It didn't require
Yeah.
it. It's the fact that they wanted it to require that.
Well, didn't a save require the whole memory card? Every save required it? No,
not
No.
necessarily.
No, it's not. It's not true, because so originally Animal Crossing was called Animal Forest, and it was made for the Japanese public, and it was on the Nintendo 64. We got the boosted version of it,
Thank God.
which is Animal Crossing. It's what we call it, but it's still in Japan. They still call it Animal Forest, and they literally were just like, well, it's not on a card anymore. What are we going to do about it? And they're just like, oh, like, let's pretend like this is like the biggest thing on God's fucking given earth. All right, let's give them a memory card with it too. That's really what it is, because when you got 52 blocks of memory in a GameCube, because you were a GameCube kid too. I was.
Yeah.
It takes up a lot of fucking space.
Yeah, you had to pick and choose for sure, but I think just the customization, similar to Stardew Valley, just customizing, your house, your town. You got a free interest loan from Tom Nook to build your house up.
Yeah, you're right.
I liked,
teaches you about loans,
collecting, fossils, fish. I always had like a T-Rex in my basement and then like a whale shark or some shit in there. And then just, trying to make the themed room and, things like that.
All the NES games.
Yeah. Yes. The playable games within a game, that was genius. You could play Excite Bike.
I could play Excite Bike. I could play Balloon Fight.
Yeah. Amazing.
Brad, in the first Animal Crossing, you could literally get most NES games.
Yeah.
Just literally to play within it. And that was not something that existed at the time.
And doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist anymore unless you want to pay a price.
Or play a Yakuza game.
No, that's... Sega games are not Nintendo games.
Well, I agree.
Oh, yeah, but no.
The fact you can play old Sega games, though, is cool.
Yeah, let's play Space Harrier.
No, let's play Balloon Fight.
Balloon Fight is a good video game.
Give me Joust any day.
But, so Animal Crossing.
Good transition.
Yeah. Just overall, has good memories for me growing up. And, it was just like an easy, chill game. Even now, you smoke and then you can just run around, catch some fish, dig some fossils.
Yeah.
It's a good time. Fill up your museum.
Eventually, you learn the tricks of the trade. And sometimes you can get these I learned how to fish at a certain spot, but if you move down a certain frame, you can move back up and then you find a certain shadow within the water and you can catch a certain fish that was just so rare that you could become the richest. You should be Tom Nook.
That was the great thing, though. You'd sell some fish. You'd sell whatever crap you found, some stones and diamonds and stuff.
Red snappers, 3,000.
Let me pay off my house loan.
Zebra stripe fish, 5,000.
Jeez.
I know the price.
You're a fisherman. I can tell it about you.
Thank you.
He's been out there.
Hair the Dogcast exists because of people like you. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or thoughts about this episode, or you want to fact check us, you can reach out to us on Instagram at Hair the Dogcast, on Twitter at Hot Dogcast. You can also email us at hairofthedogcast@gmail.com. We want to hear about it. Do you want access to a bunch of bonus episodes, our after show, and even an exclusive podcast where we discuss movies and TV? Well, yeah, you do. We know you do, and that's why it's locked behind the Patreon $5 tier. We also have $3 tiers, $10 tiers, depending on what you want to get access to. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/hairthedogcast. Thanks to executive producers Ryan Christianick, Tyler Keller, Kip the Killer Home Base Man, Brian Ward, and Katie Bone. We are part of the HyperX Podcast Network. Our next episode will be Raw Dogs next week, where we discuss the God of War series, which I'm excited to talk about.
Does anyone have a physical God of War I can play?
Ragnarok?
I've got...
not Ragnarok, 2018.
I've got God of War 3.
One for the road. Does anyone have any recommendations they'd like to lead? Otherwise, I can start.
Drink more beer.
You're okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and why do you recommend that to people?
You got to support small breweries and make sure your favorite place will survive what's going on now. Supply chain issues, COVID. Lakefront Brewing has a beer called Fuck Putin.
They do.
That they're selling in crowlers. I think they sold out the first day or something like that.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah,
I was surprised that Lakefront did that.
Yeah, they're serious.
They're right. They're right to do it.
To stick their neck out that far is unique. But
so if you're in the Milwaukee area, check out Lakefront Brewing.
Yes, my one for the road is to take care of yourself. If you are unhappy in a situation or a work environment or anything at all, you need to make a decision what's right for you. And it might not be the easy decision, but if it long-term is healthier or makes you happier, I encourage you to do what is right for you.
Dylan's one for the road is
my Dylan's one for the road is that destroy your enemies.
Okay. I am semi-supportive so far. Yeah.
No, but annihilate them slowly. Do not let it be just a situation where they just get to be destroyed. No. You let them live with it for a little while. If you're smart, if you're an intelligent person, a human being, you can and you will eventually make them suffer.
And on that note, we'll be back with Doggies After Dark. If you're a Patreon supporter, that's the after show where we just keep drinking and we don't have to talk about anything in particular, which is great. And this has been Hair of the Dogcast.
This is our Hair of the Dogcast.
This is our Hair of the Dogcast. Tyler, we want you to feel better, my friend, and play Elden Ring. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. David, you're awesome. Thanks for coming, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We love you, buddy. You were fantastic.